change the globe. I just got this feeling in my soul. We just gotta jump up out the mold.
So sin is now in the queer theological framework is that LGBTQ people are marginalized and oppressed in the church because they are not able to, because of the more traditional churches are not ordaining them, they're not able to experience full membership, and they're told that their lifestyles are sinful. So that is a form of oppression that people believe that they need to fight against in the church. There's a lady named Kelly Brown Douglas, who is very well known in the Episcopal Church, who talks a lot about in the liberation theology framework. And she says, and this is something that you hear a lot in queer theology, you hear versions of this, that Jesus was crucified, and crucifixion was a way that marginalized and the outcasts in society were killed and punished. So she says that because Jesus was crucified, that showed that Jesus was coming in solidarity with the crucified classes, which are the marginalized. So that's how you get not only the poor and those who are experiencing racism, but also the LGBTQ. You'll hear people say things like, Jesus died so that I could come out of the closet, different things like that.
Okay.
I know that was a lot.
Really, yeah. And I think this is important to understand, because there are, I know in my area, there is a Baptist church that is run by lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people there that are sexual diverse sympathizers. They're not necessarily that way themselves, but they have families and they're raising their children in that church. So the theology behind it is completely distorted. Obviously, Jesus died for all of us. And the liberation theology kind of turns everything into an oppressed class and oppressors, which is more of a communist ideology than it is a Christian theology. It sounds good. Nobody wants to oppress. Well, there are some wicked people who want to oppress others, but that's not the intention of the church. And so what do you tell people when they come to you with all of this ideology?
Well, so there's also a belief that the preferential option for the poor. This is so Kelly Brown Douglas talks about this, and other people with a more LGBTQ inclusive framework talk about this. And basically, it's that Jesus's first priority, and some would argue, I think his main priority, his only priority, was the freedom of the poor. And so this is what I say to people. And when I say poor, that also means the marginalized and all that. So this is what I say to people. Our God is a God of justice. So when our God looks at this world, he doesn't like racism. Racism is wrong. People are racist. Racism is out here. People are being oppressed. That is true. But dealing with justice issues and dealing with issues concerning oppression are outworkings of the gospel, but that is not the gospel itself. Do you see what I'm saying? So no. It's not just the poor who need Jesus. It's not just the marginalized who need Jesus. It is everybody who needs Jesus. Whoever in your framework is the oppressed or the oppressor. The gospel, the Christianity is not a faith for one kind of people. It is designed for the only kind of people it's designed for is the sinful folk, and that's all of us: white, Black, Asian, high socioeconomic status, low socioeconomic status. Is for all of us. And so when we take the gospel and we say that it is for a particular type of people, we are out of line with the Bible, and we are turning, like Paul says in 2 Corinthians 11, when he was dealing with the super apostles and some of the false doctrine that was coming into the church. Paul says, when people come to you preaching a different Jesus, a different gospel, and you receive a different spirit than the one that you originally received, he said, you accept those things willingly. So what Paul was saying, look, people are coming to you with these false doctrines, and you're not even, and you're just believing these things willingly and gullibly, and you're not taking the time to look at these things. This is not what you learned, and this is the same kinds of things that we're seeing today. So now Jesus is not liberating us from our sin, but he's a social and economic liberator. While the outworking of the gospel may do those things, as we, as the hands and feet of the church, help and deal with some of these justice issues, the primary issue that Jesus came to deal with was our sin nature. Yeah. And the fact that we as a rebellious people are separated from God. And the only way to have a relationship with God the Father is through his Son. So
amen. Amen. Yes, that's exactly right. But
I believe we can change the globe. I just got this feeling in my soul. We just gotta jump up out the mold. Follow God, cause he really in control. Yeah, I believe.